Zoey,
Yes, sir.
good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. I hope you're doing well today.
I am excellent. Thank you. So, welcome to, have you been on a podcast yet?
No, this is my first time. I'm really excited.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. Are you nervous?
A little bit, but
Yeah.
more excited.
We're just talking. So,
Yeah.
Yep. So, covered sheltering our homeowners with roofing knowledge is our podcast. And today we're going to talk mostly about you and your accomplishments here. And you got the Employee of the Year award. Super stoked about that. Randy Hopkins, our project manager, I think won it every single year except for this one. Did he get it last year too?
Last year was JT.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, man, he needs to step up. Yeah. No, but congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So before we kind of like dig in, really deep about all that other stuff,
Yeah.
let's kind of talk about who is Zoey. So that'll be my first question to you. Who's Zoey?
All right. So just a little bit about my background. I grew up in the Outer Banks. I lived there for about 13 years, which is a very small, tight-knit community. There was maybe like 3 high schools in the whole area. So very, very small community. And I moved to Winston-Salem in 2016, I think.
Okay.
Spent my high school years through there.
Okay.
And then I moved to Greensboro about 3 or 4 years ago,
Okay.
where I was working as a furniture sales rep at Colfax Furniture. And I just started kind of applying for different jobs, seeing what I would like. I didn't really have kind of a set path of what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I found 5 Star Roofing on Indeed.
Yeah.
And
Well, actually, you found we had a call center at first, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I
through
did
a kind of partner with another company, Yeah. So
Yeah. So I found you guys through there. I forget what the roofing company is called, Trusted Roofer, I think.
Yeah.
So I remember working through there for a few months, and it was very independent. It was very like you had to do your own thing. If you wanted money, you had to grind for it.
Yeah.
Which definitely pushed me. When you're hungry,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
definitely gives you that push.
Yeah.
So I worked there for a few months. And I know that we had started to close the call center, and you had offered me a job at 5 Star Roofing.
Yep.
And that's how I kind of came into the picture and came into the company. I started off as an office administrator, taking payments, customer consultations, and scheduling inspections. And through that role, I learned just immense roofing knowledge. I mean, I didn't know anything about shingles or anything like that before coming into this position. And it made me realize the many nuances and different little things that you have to keep track of in order to ensure that your customer gets the best quality service that they can.
Yeah. So, that journey from the call center, you had displayed a good work ethic, great attitude all the time. And I thought, there could be a fit for you with our company at 5 Star. And hey, I was right.
Yeah.
You're doing a phenomenal job. I mean, you really are. So you started out working at the front desk, just kind of answering the phones, working with customers, helping them out with like some basic needs, right?
Yeah.
And then it kind of developed into your new role now, which is
sales support and estimator specialist.
Okay. So you want to talk a little bit more specifically on how you support the sales team, like what you actually do to provide the help and how it does help them?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is, a lot of our sales reps have 20 to 30 clients at a time that they're trying to keep up with, make sure that they're handling the inspections, handling the claim files, and keeping up with that documentation as well. So my biggest role is to ensure that none of those customers fall through the gaps and that they get the experience that they deserve. They get the estimates on time. We make sure that we keep them up to date on their claim filed and that we are there for the adjuster meeting as well.
Yeah.
And ensuring that the sales reps have all of the knowledge that they need to be able to create and build those estimates as well. Another thing that I do is I will call the customer after the job has been completed, follow up with them, make sure that they're satisfied with the roofing that was installed and that they don't have any questions or concerns moving forward. Especially when it comes to an insurance claim, because it's you don't learn it through life experience. At least most people file a claim with their car insurance.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't even ever replace their roof, let alone twice or 3 times or with
in their
insurance.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's I feel like that role is super important for me to be able to step in and explain how the process works, because that makes them feel a lot more comfortable in what we're doing and builds trust between us and the customer.
What would you say are some of the common questions that a customer asks you where they might be, kind of confused and they need clarity on?
Yeah.
What would be a common one?
The main one that I get is how do I get my depreciation check? How do I get my final payment from my insurance company? Do they send it to you? Do they send it to me? And I will say always, 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 unless otherwise specified, your insurance company requires some type of completion documents is what they call it. So they'll want the final invoice from your contractor, completion photo showing that the job has actually been done, and then what's called a COC, certificate of completion, which is exactly as it sounds. It certifies that the roof has been completed per your scope of work. Once they receive those documents from us, that will kind of like pull the trigger for them to tell them, okay, the roof has been completed. We can release whatever is remaining on this claim to our client, which may take 7 to 10 business days because snail mail, the U.S. postal system isn't exactly reliable.
Right.
So then once they receive that payment, they have to sign that check, the back of it, or else we will not be able to deposit it to our account. So I'll explain it to them just like I did now, just give them a slow, thorough explanation so that if they do have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer that for them. And again, just so that it kind of builds that relationship between us.
Sure. Okay, well, let's roll it back a little bit. So once we get a contract in, that now is handled by Carly in the office. Right. So she inputs some basic information, scans it in the system, that kind of thing. And then the file gets transferred over to you. Right. And then you kind of QC it. And then what type of things are you looking for? And then maybe talk about, when you actually reach out to an adjuster for maybe a supplement before we actually move forward with the project.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that I look for. I think of myself as like a filter. Like I have to filter everything through so that once that full file gets to Randy, it's ready to go. He has all of the measurements. There's no questions asked. So the main things that I look for is what color are we doing? What color drip edge? What does the house look like? Could there have been any improvements that we could have added into the estimates to improve the roof's condition? And making sure that all of the measurements are correct, that our profit margins are where they need to be. There's a lot of little details that go on the roof. It's not just the shingles and the felts. There's also code items that I need to be sure that we are applying to as well.
What will be some of the code items that you're referring to?
So the main ones that we see are roofs with low slopes, which means, obviously you have a roof like this, but the lower that it gets, the more vulnerable it is for having water sitting on the shingles and being able to slip under the shingles. So a lot of the times, the lower it goes, the more you have to kind of reinforce it. So we'll add 2 layers of synthetic underlayment, or we'll do 1 layer of synthetic underlayment and 1 layer of ice and water barrier if it's lower than kind of like a 3 pitch, because that's where it gets, really a lot of the times it's not recommended to install shingles there. You still can, but it's not recommended. And that's why we put that extra layer of protection to ensure that we're safe with our warranty and we can cover this. And obviously we're applying to NC building code standards.
Yeah, the ice and water is an awesome thing. That's for sure. Yeah,
it is.
Helps.
And that's
keep
one
that
of
water
the
away.
and that's one of the biggest things that I see missing from insurance scopes is building code items. A lot of the times I'll also see just basic components that are missing, or kind of the biggest thing as we're getting into these nicer homes that have a lot of copper everywhere, like the copper bay windows, copper standing seam. Copper is a very expensive material to work with, not just because of the actual material itself, but because when you see these beautiful like bay windows and roofing made of copper, it's because you get one flat sheet and the crew actually has to manipulate that and custom fabricate it on site to make it into like those beautiful like ribs that you see and everything. So that's really the main part that I have some trouble with adjusters, is explaining that you don't just get the roofing pre-made, prefabricated. You have to do that on site. And it is very labor intensive, but not to mention most of the time it's in the summer. It's very, very hot. You have to break the metal. You have to weld it. So there's a lot that goes into that, a lot of different nuances. And luckily, I've been able to build some relationships with the adjusters in our surrounding area, especially some that we work with a lot. So that's really been a huge positive in this role, is being able to build those relationships and talking with adjusters and just having just a conversation about the actual things that go into it,
Right.
So I've really appreciated developing some of those relations and being able to talk to them on a name-to-name basis.
Yeah, that's awesome. And obviously how that then helps the homeowner when they're working with the contractor, who knows, all those other nuances, that can make up the difference in the price, because when the adjuster goes to do their estimate, they're just putting in codes into the computer and it spits out a price. They're not
Right.
custom, making the price.
Right, right. And obviously we are the professionals with the licenses, with the
Right.
know-how of how to build a roofing system to last.
Yeah.
So that's definitely my biggest struggle, is being able to just put it in black and white and just trying to explain it the best way that I can, getting all of my documents together. Because I never want an adjuster to think that I'm just pulling a price out of thin air. I always
Right.
want to show them where this is coming from, because not only does that make them trust me more, but I can show the homeowner why we need this to move forward as well.
Right. Yeah. It's not like we're just trying to, well, let's just figure out a way for the roofing company to make more money.
Yeah,
you
which
know?
obviously we always have to kind of fight past that stereotype. It's something
Right.
that we're always going to be seen with, which isn't necessarily I wouldn't say a bad thing, but there are a lot of bad contractors out there,
Right.
and unfortunately it gives good contractors kind of a bad rep. But it's always good to be spectacle. You should be spectacle.
Right.
You should do
Right.
your research. Look people up on the BBB. I say that's probably one of the most trusted websites to find a reliable contractor.
Right.
Do your research. That is the
Yep.
biggest thing I can tell people.
Yep.
Look up the
Yep.
owners of the company.
Yep.
Make sure that you find somebody that works for you and that works with you as well,
Yeah.
and not for their
Yeah.
own personal gain.
Yep. Man, you're smart. You learned a lot in 3 years. That's pretty
have.
incredible. Yeah. So, hey, so let's kind of talk a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that we were actually going to go down the let's educate the homeowners lane, but that's good. That's good. So, talk about when you first started, and there are people who kind of just do the bare minimum, and there's a lot of people like that. And, where they're hired to do a specific job and they don't do any more than that, but you have proven time and time again with taking on additional responsibilities, asking for, more work and all that. So why did you choose to do that instead of like, okay, well, 5 o'clock's in 15 minutes, I can't wait to punch out and get out of here and just not think about work. And, a lot of times you actually do some stuff from home too. Yeah. So what do you feel like attributes to your wiring that way?
The biggest thing is that I care. I care about the people that I work with. I care about our homeowners. I want them to have our best experience. I want them to know that they can trust us and that their roof is going to last for, the next 30 years. I also care about our employees, my coworkers, Shannon and Randy. I have immense respect for Shannon and Randy was honestly the one that made me want to push more and do more, because I saw how much he did and how much he took on. And I thought to myself, if I can be that filter, if I can do better and take some of that workload off of his plate, that would make me feel good. Also, additional to that, I've just always had this kind of mindset ever since I was young that if I'm going to do something, I have to be the best at it. I have to do better than everybody else. I'm very ambitious, and I kind of have that same like tactic that you use that I've been doing ever since I started working when I was 16. I will find that person that shines the brightest, and I will copy every single thing that they do. And I'll even pick apart things that other people do, and I'll like kind of pull that in and make my own version of it, and then just keep going from there. And that's exactly what I did. I saw Randy. I saw how brightly he shone. I was like, I want to be that person. I want to be that trustworthy person that anybody can go to, and they know that things will get done. When I say that I will do something, it will get done. And that is my biggest pride point as well, is when I say I'm going to do something, it will get done, and it will get done right. So that just makes me feel good when I go home, when I stay past, a little bit later or do a little bit more. It makes me feel good knowing that I didn't just waste my day at work, doing nothing. I'm respecting my family that I'm leaving behind at home to go and do what I need to do and to do better each and every day.
So hearing you say that about Randy, I didn't put them together until you just started talking about it. But you're like the female version of Randy. I mean, really, because I know I can call Randy for, pretty much anything. And I'll know that it will get done and it'll get done well. And I don't have to follow up and check behind him and that kind of thing. And I definitely feel the same about you. I know I've been calling you more frequently on different things now. And it's because I know I can rely and depend on you. So, yeah.
And that makes me feel great. I hold a lot of pride, and I hold myself to that certain standard because I want people to know that they can trust me, because I want you to put more responsibility on me. I see how much Shannon and Randy does. And I just kind of made it my responsibility to just take whatever I can off of their plate so that they can have more free time, you know? So that just makes me happy to be able to go home and feel full.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about 5-star culture, the team, and if someone is maybe checking out 5-star, like, it looks like a good place to work, but I don't know. What would you say to them?
Oh man, you just have to see it to believe it. Whenever you start a new company, you always get kind of like the golden version of, this is the best place to work. We have the best, people here. We do all of these amazing things, but 5-star actually lives to that. Our culture is, I know I'm still pretty young, but it's unlike anything I've ever seen or heard. I can't tell you the amount of questions I've had to go to Randy, Shannon, Justin, and it's never once been treated like I'm a nuisance or like it's a wrong question.
It's a bother.
Yeah. And that has always made me feel very accepted, and like they want to teach, they want to pass along their knowledge, they want you to ask questions.
Yeah.
And I'm that person. I'm going to ask every question. If I don't know what it is, I'm not going to try and just do it. I'm going to ask, you know? So I know that I probably bothered them so much at the beginning with the amount of questions that I've asked. But you also feel like the work that you put in, 5-star gives back. I'm so blessed to have the things that I have and to have received the gifts that I've gotten from you and Shannon because of the work that I've put in. It just makes you feel valued, and it makes it worth it. It makes you want to keep doing more and more and more.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest part of our culture is we just have a very healthy family-like culture. We bicker and we spat, but the next day we're high-fiving each other, hugging each other, and just going right back to it.
Yeah.
So it just, I love the guys. I love working with them. I love coming to work every day. It's one of my favorite places. You guys are my family, and I truly mean that. Coming from someone who doesn't have a strong family background, you guys have filled that part in for me in my life, and it's a blessing. I love it.
Yeah. Well, we feel like we definitely have a calling, and that that we are believers, and we believe that God has entrusted us with this company, and to be a light to that's like our mission field, to be a light to the people that we work with, and try to give them a good fun place to work and earn a awesome living and that kind of thing. So it's good to hear. It's good to hear that.
You can definitely feel it, and especially just knowing that the coworkers that I have, the people that I work with, just honestly, genuinely want to do good onto the world. That makes me feel good. Like this is the right place for me. Like this is where I need to be. Just around other like-minded people that just want to do good. Yeah. It's just kind of as simple as that sometimes.
Yeah. So I don't want to necessarily get too deep. Possibly, but I want to ask you about, I know there's been maybe a time or two where Shannon had to maybe have a tough conversation with you. And then again, you had at that moment to make a decision. Some people are they're not receptive to the feedback.
Right.
And so how did you don't necessarily need to go over what it was or anything like that, but I guess what I'm getting at is like how some of the coaching that Shannon has brought to you has kind of helped develop you and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of my biggest kind of teachers is being straightforward, be blunt. Tell me exactly what it is I'm doing wrong and let me fix it. Yeah. And that's what she does. She's a very blunt person, which I personally very appreciate. I don't like beating around the bush. I want you to tell me what I'm doing wrong so that I'm able to rectify it and fix it. Yeah. Obviously, when you're learning a whole brand new trade, like I did with roofing, you're going to have some challenges. You're going to have some things that come up, some bumps in the road. And my biggest thing is just to remember to not take it personally, because we're all human. Sometimes it's hard hearing your mistakes from your boss. But I just remind myself, don't take it personally, and understand that she is saying all of these things because she wants me to do better, not out of annoyance or anger, but because she wants to see me do better so I can still be a valuable asset to this company. Right. And that's how I try to take it, is just these are learning points that I need to really internalize and push out to do better. So I'll even go back in my office and write down what exactly she said. And I'll keep sticky notes all around my computer of what exactly I need to work on, what I need to remember, until I look at it so much that it's annoying and I just throw it away because, this is now ingrained in my brain and I'm never going to make that mistake again.
Yeah. It's been a while, I think, since you had to go into the office, yeah, so to speak, right?
It
Yeah.
has. Yay me.
Awesome. All right, so let's kind of turn the page to some funner stuff. So when you found out you were employee of the year, you said you kind of had a hunch, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. So like, overall, how did it make you feel? I mean, obviously, it made you feel good.
Really, really
But,
good.
yeah.
I almost cried a little bit because
Yeah.
I just felt so happy and accepted, and again, just full of warmth. And I tell everybody that I know how much I love our team and how much I'm so appreciative to work amongst such great people.
Yeah.
And it definitely just made me feel very appreciated, and knowing that I'm not doing all of this for nothing,
That's
knowing
right.
that people see what I do, and that recognition makes you feel good. It makes me want to keep going and do better and better and better and just keep going. I'm very ambitious, so that is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm already looking at different roles I could possibly be in, and
Oh, yeah?
different things I could do. So I'm very excited for the new year and see
Yeah.
where it'll take us.
Well, hey, please share. What are some of those thoughts?
Well, I know that Brian left, and Randy has told me on a few different occasions that if he would trust anybody to be his assistant project manager, it would be me.
Okay.
Not only because of my extreme attention to detail,
Yeah.
but also because of how hardworking I am, and knowing that if there was anything I'd be lacking in that position, I would do everything I could to make sure that I would step up and rise to the occasion.
Okay.
So I think that would be fun,
Yeah.
sometime in the future. I think that it would be amazing to be able to support him even closer in that
Yeah.
role, to make sure that I can take some off of his plate and his workload.
Yeah.
It would also be just kind of interesting because it's a new position. So it'd
Sure.
be cool to kind of like check out something else. But he said he needed me in my position because I'm too good.
That is funny. That is funny. Well, hey, so for anyone that is listening to this, and if you had in the back of your mind, like, I wonder how canned some of these interviews are, if they're like rehearsed and all of that. Yeah, I have an outline, with some questions, just because sometimes I forget. But I didn't know that, so in real time, hey,
Yeah.
I'm learning. So hopefully everyone, the audience, will know that, hey, this is all truly authentic and very,
Yeah.
very real. Yeah. So I could see that you would probably be actually pretty good at doing that. Yep. All right. So let me ask you just a couple more questions.
Yeah.
I know that we've been going over the book Atomic Habits,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's kind of putting you on the spot here.
Okay.
Are there any habits or mindsets that helped you succeed the most?
Yeah, one of my biggest mindsets was, that funny little meme with the guy, just do it.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
goes
yeah.
through my mind all the time, because there are some very hard conversations that I need to call homeowners about, whether or not we've damaged their property and they still owe money, or that, something went wrong during installation and I already kind of have it in the back of my head. That will sometimes, I procrastinate that a little bit.
Yeah.
But instead, what I started doing was just putting at the top of my list, get it over with, just do it, go through it, and just get it over with, because at the end of the day, you're still going to go home and lay on your couch and stop your dogs and cats from fighting. So, you just got to do it, get it over
That's
with.
right.
And
Yeah.
it'll still be the same result at the end of the day, So I just have tried to keep that mindset of just keep going, keep pushing, keep going. And I just keep repeating those words in my head.
Yeah.
And just imagining the future that I will have if I keep on this track.
Yeah.
So I'm never letting off the gas pedal. I'm keeping
There you
going.
go.
I'm just
Yep,
pushing
keep
forward
learning, yep.
whatever I can.
There you go. Yeah, we talked about some books, right?
Yes.
Yep. So definitely start incorporating some of that into 2026, because that will help tremendously. For
I'm sure. Yeah.
So you mentioned just a second ago about sometimes there could be damage to the property. Something happened during the install that was an accident
Yeah.
and that kind of thing, right? So what, from your seat, what would you tell a homeowner? Not like what they want to hear, like
Right.
truly
Right.
from your seat and what you have observed when there's been a problem with a job. How do you see that we handle that?
Yeah. So obviously, construction is extremely expensive, not only the labor, but the material as well. So my role is just to be straight up and just to be realistic, no emotions in it, because the second that you start feeling any sort of way, people sense that, they know it, and they can hear it on the other line of the phone. So I just try to be, very basic with it. I'll ask them, I heard that there were some problems in the roofing installation. How can we get this resolved for you? Has it already been resolved? What can we do to help further? Because normally by the time it gets back to me and there's been an issue, the problem has already been resolved. If it's not my job to make the decision of whether or not we'll do more or less. It is my job to take down what exactly they're requesting, what their concerns are, why they are concerned, and then, give that to the correct person so that they can handle it.
Okay.
Obviously, because I don't have a managerial position, my job is just to take that information and pass it along to the right person. And then reassure them that this will be handled. And I will ensure to you that I will be continuously following up on this. And if I have an update, I will call you immediately.
Yeah.
Even if I can't get an update that day, I'll still call them back and let them know, hey, just want to let you know I'm still working on this. I haven't forgotten about you. I'll call you tomorrow with another update.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. Good deal. Tell us about a fun fact that most people don't know about you.
So when I lived in the Outer Banks, I used to do surfing and swimming competitions.
No way.
That was pretty
I didn't
good.
even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah. So
you could surf?
Yeah. I don't know about now. I was probably about 10 years old the last time that I ever picked up a board.
Wow.
But yeah, at I can't remember, Jeanette's Pier, they used to have surfing competitions, and me and some classmates would go every year during the summer.
Yeah.
And also during the summer, we had a community pool. And I've been swimming. My mom just threw me in the pool when I was a baby.
Okay.
She did one of those.
Yeah.
So I've been swimming for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I used to beat kids that were like grades above me. I was a very, very good swimmer. So I do miss that, being away from the beach. I miss the swimming.
Yeah.
I fish very well too. I'm really good at fishing. So
No kidding.
when me and my dad used to go, I'd beat him all the time. I'd catch way more fish.
So when you catch the fish, do you actually take it off the hook?
Yeah.
With your hands?
Yeah, you just hold down the gills and the spikes so it doesn't cut you off.
Well, the reason I ask you that is because I can't stand that.
Really?
Oh no, I cannot. I won't touch a fish. Yeah, I'll hold it down with my foot and then grab like some pliers and try to Or most of the time, I'll just whoever I'm fishing with, I'll just say, hey, can you take this off the hook?
Have
take the fish off the hook for me.
Have you like filleted a fish before?
Yeah. You know what? Actually, yeah. No. I take it back. When we went deep sea fishing, we caught like 300 pounds of tuna and mahi. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's insane.
It was unreal.
Big fish.
Yeah. And so that was super fun.
Yeah.
Probably the funnest time I've ever had fishing. But there was a spot there when we got done. They did all that and they put it in bags. So, I just opened up one of the bags and then like cut fresh tuna and we just ate it right out of the bag. It was unreal. Yeah, it was super good.
There's a place, Oregon Inlet in the Outer Banks, right across from that beach. There's a fishing pier for like charter boat fishing. And whenever we would, we go to the beach in the summer, get done around like 4 or 5 o'clock, the sharks start to come out and go. Yeah. And we'd go to the pier right across the charter boats, and we would walk around the docks and see like the catches for the day. So like those big like mahi and tuna that'd be laying out on the docks. It's just such a cool like childhood memory, like walking the docks before we left from the beach for the night.
I didn't know that you did all that. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Hey, that's why we do this too. Yeah. You get to learn more. Yeah. I mean, you've been with us for 3 years. I had no idea. That's wild. So just a couple more questions and we'll wrap things up. So if some of our employees are watching this, right, what advice would maybe you give them if they feel like they might be struggling or, having a hard time finding like their footing here? Mm-hmm.
It is very overwhelming at first. You have a lot of new things, new terminology being thrown at you. And it takes you a minute to kind of learn the full compass of everything that goes on in 5-star roofing, from production to sales to in-house, even to the closing aspects. My biggest thing is learn and observe all that you can. Ask questions. Ask as many questions as you can. Coming from personal experience, I promise you that nobody will think that you're a nuisance or that you're being annoying. I always tell like Carly, I've helped a lot with training her, is please ask me any questions that you can. I'd rather you ask me something than try to do it yourself. Yeah. And then it get, some ways down the road and we have to do a lot of work to, get it back to where it was. Yeah. And just keep going, keep pushing yourself and keep having that confidence that you can do it. And it will be hard at first, especially for our sales reps that have to go out and do door knocking and everything like that. It can be very mentally straining. Yeah. But go to find a mentor out of the sales reps like Gabe or Trey and follow them, do everything that they do, copy their schedule, ask them questions, ask to go out door knocking with them too. And maybe like for the first few that you knock, just listen to what they say and observe everything that they do, their cadence, the way that they walk, their facial expressions, the tone of their voice, because everything's going to be clocked by that customer. They're going to want to scrutinize every little thing that you do because nobody wants you knocking on their door anyways. So that would be my best thing, is just learn and observe everything that you can and try to mimic it and copy it. You may feel like a fraud at first, because sometimes that's how like I felt a little bit. But just have the confidence in knowing that the more that you do things, the more that you repeat it, the more confident in yourself and the more skills you'll build on top of that as you go through. So just keep pushing yourself and keep reaching out a hand for help, ask questions. You know, honestly, that's all you really can do until you start to catch a footing. It's going to be overwhelming at first. It's a very busy industry that doesn't stop for anybody.
Yeah. That's good advice. I always say, definitely the fastest track to success, I feel like, is you find somebody who is already doing what you want to be doing, you know, the number one person, right? And like you said earlier, just copy them. You know, do exactly what they do, show up when they do, you know, don't leave until they do.
Right.
But I chose to, after, you know, a while, get there earlier and stay later. Then you can outdo them, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I did with Randy.
We all have 24 hours in a day. You know, how you choose to use yours is, you know, could be different than how another person does. But all right, so last thing, in closing, I know you said that you're kind of eyeing the maybe assistant project manager type of a role. So this is kind of forecasting a little bit further out. In 5 years, I don't normally like that question, but we're not interviewing like for a job. So in 5 years, where do you see yourself at 5-star? Have you thought about that?
Oh, man. I like to go in kind of year intervals because I never know what's going to happen in 5 years, what's going to happen to me, how my life might change.
What would you want to be doing in 5 years?
I really would want to be doing Randy's role and just have him be quality control. And I can just take over material orders, handling our interactions with, you know, our crews and everything like that, handling all of the paperwork, the scheduling. I feel like I have the mind for it. Every little detail stands out to me. Organizing and scheduling things just makes my little brain happy. So that is where I would want to be in 5 years. I would want his job so that he can just do quality control. It kind of takes, you know, work a regular 9 to 5 instead of the crazy hours that he does work. That would be what I would want to do.
All right. Well, you know, Shannon and Randy's going to watch this.
I know.
they'll hear your wishes for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, hey, thanks again for your time.
Thank you.
Coming on, and it was awesome to get to know some of the other side of you that I didn't even know about. So I was going to say maybe we can go surfing sometime, but I don't know. I think I'm a little bit too old for that. I want to die. So that sounds kind of scary. And the fishing thing, if you take the fish off the hook for me, I'm down.
That would be fun. I could do that.
Awesome. Hey, again, thank you so much for everything that you have done, that you are doing, and you definitely deserve that Employee of the Year. I mean, you just really crushed it this past year. So, you know, you set the bar high. So we're expecting a lot out of you in this coming year.
Always.
Right. High five. You're awesome.
Thank you.
All right, Ed, that's a wrap.